Hi, my name is Alfonso, and this is my submission for the ENCMP Winter 2020 Programming Contest for the Games category. My game is called MATLABMon, which is a simplified and condensed version of a typical game from the popular video game franchise Pokemon. More specifically, it is based on two main Pokemon games that I've loved playing ever since I was a child, which are Pokemon Platinum and Pokemon Heart Gold. The characters and locations in MATLABMon are drawn from these games. MATLABMon follows a similar format to most Pokemon games, where you live in a world inhabited by creatures known as Pokemon. People who own Pokemon are known as trainers, and many battle with their Pokemon against others to become the strongest around. The main goal in MATLABMon is to help Dr. Rowan, a Pokemon researcher, collect information about Pokemon during your summer internship. He sends you to collect an item from a friend, and along the way, you battle many Pokemon and record their data with a device known as a Pokédex. Central to MATLABMon is the use of data structures and functions. In Pokemon games, each Pokemon has its own stats, such as their health points and attack level. Data structures are perfect for holding all of this info for every unique Pokemon, and so I was able to code multiple Pokemon with different stats into the game. In battle, the goal is to bring your opponent Pokemon's health points down to 0 by using your own Pokemon's damage-dealing moves. To facilitate this, I created a battle function composed of one main function and multiple sub-functions. Each Pokemon takes turns using moves to lower their opponent's HP. In the real games, there is a speed stat which determines which Pokemon goes first, but in this game, I simply made it random. The main function is a while loop which randomizes which Pokemon moves first, makes sure that once a Pokemon moves, the opponent gets to move next, and displays each Pokemon's current HP at the start of every round. If either Pokemon's HP hits 0, the while loop terminates. The sub-functions are in charge of things such as printing which moves the user can pick from, and calculating the damage dealt to the opponent's Pokemon depending on the chosen move. I found the real damage formula used in Pokemon games from an online database, but MATLABMon uses a simplified version that does not deal with factors such as weather conditions, for example, in battle. I first started my project with some planning in OneNote. At the start, I wrote out the general idea of the game and some basic ideas about using data structures to hold stats for different Pokemon. I would continue to add any new ideas I had while I worked on the game to this document, and it helped me stay organized throughout the project. My first version was where I experimented with the alternating turn system, having a tracker alternate between -1 and 1 to determine who goes next. However, this version had the same Pokemon move first every time, so the Pokemon that got to move first was basically guaranteed to win. My second version was where I tested out making data structures for multiple Pokemon and moves, and my third version was where the battle function began to take shape. Instead of having an alternating value like version 1, I decided to make the battle order random. In a given round, either the enemy goes first and then the player, or the player goes first and then the enemy. To test this function, I used my data structures from version 2. In my final version, I adjusted my battle function by turning what I had previously hard-coded into multiple sub-functions. Then I coded the overall game with all of its dialogue and use of the battle function. The biggest lesson I learned is segmentation. Splitting things up into smaller, more manageable parts applies to multiple aspects of my project. In terms of my battle function, splitting it up into sub-functions that were in charge of different aspects made it easier to change whenever something didn't work or if I wanted to make adjustments. In my game script, I learned how to use sections, which allowed me to run certain parts of my code without needing to run the rest. Again, this was really helpful for when I needed to make changes or debug. In terms of the overall coding process, I had to split up my work over the term so that I wouldn't be overwhelmed near the end. In terms of MATLAB specifically, I learned how powerful data structures can be when it comes to storing multiple values for multiple objects. Additionally, I learned that functions are useful for when you need to perform something multiple times in a script, which in my case was battling, and that using sub-functions to control different aspects makes it easier to adjust and debug your script later on. Overall, I had lots of fun creating MATLABMon, and I'll be sure to use what I learned in my future projects. Thank you for watching!